Hey guys, it's me. I'm in Rosewood again, and I'm actually here now to do the plot with you guys. Because it did not fit in the first video, because it kind of hit almost 40 minutes. So yeah, let's get started with this. Now I'm trying to think, where do I begin? Well, let's start with where we are in Rosewood today. Where I am right now with my Rosewood is they are 16 and 17 pretty much, respectively. They're turning 17. 16 going on 17. Excuse me, they're in this sophomore year? Sophomore, junior year of high school. Rosewood High. And Allison is alive, but they don't know that. Well, they do. It hasn't necessarily been announced to the world, but the girls know. Alright, so the four girls know. Mike Montgomery knows. Jagger Montgomery knows. Crap, who else knows? The A-Team knows. Jason DeLaurentis now knows. Which, he's the newest member. He's the newest person to know that Allison's alive. So, he was just like, what? Why is this alive? That's pretty much it. No adults really know. Except for the ones that are on the A-Team, if you can call them adults, because, you know. Oh, Ian knows. Caleb knows. I don't think Toby knows. No, Toby doesn't know. Caleb does know. Maya knows, but she's supposedly dead right now. And actually, I'm thinking that this happened in the show. I think what happened is the A-Team faked her death, and because first of all, we never saw her body. And second of all, there's like a ton that has not been solved with Maya, honestly. Even though they said that she was supposedly killed by Nate, it didn't happen. I just don't think it happened that way. So I think Maya is in fact alive, but her death was faked and she's being forced to work for the A-Team. So what's going on with my Rosewood is I'm trying to keep it as, you know, close to the show as possible in terms of characters and like whether they're alive or dead or not. Otherwise, plot can go anywhere. There could be a teenage pregnancy. Aria had a baby in Iceland. You know, people are with people who haven't really been together. Hannah and Spencer are both with, you know, Caleb and Toby respectively together. Emily is still with Maya, although right now Emily thinks Maya's dead, so she's kind of grieving right now. As for Allison and Aria, they're with two different people who they supposedly are with in the show. So there was an Emerson last we knew, which I think is so cute for the show, but my Allison's straight. So, she is with Mike Montgomery, and she's actually engaged to him. They're soulmates, so, I'll have to go on about that in a different video, because it's just too detailed, for that. As for Aria, she's with Jason, and they kind of have, like, a love-hate thing going on, where it's, like, way on and off all the time, and a lot of the time, when it's kind of, like, an off, they got in a fight, they broke up, whatever, Jason likes to go back to CC. So that's kind of a common thing that kind of happens, and Aria always gets really mad when they have a fight. They break up, and he very quickly replaces her, so, even though that's kind of her own fault, because most of the time it's Aria who's just like, you know, get out, leave me alone, she still gets upset. So I don't know. Most of the time, Aria is just like, you know. So yeah, the 5 main couples are Amaya, Millicent, which is my Mike and Allison thing, which is really cool because it's 1 in a million by Millicent, 1 in a Millicent, so that's really, really awesome, and you guys don't understand that, but you know, I'll get to that later on. Jaria, which is Jason and Aria, Caleb, and Spoby. So those are the 5 main couples in Rosewood. My Rosewood, anyway. And as for the parents, right now, Ella and Byron are still together, but they're about to be, Ella's basically about to find out, like, literally any day now that there's a Meredith. So that's gonna turn everything into chaos for that family. The Dillenges' parents are together, but I think eventually I'm going to kill Kenneth off. Only because he's, like, not in the picture too much. But Jessica is. And Ashley Marin is with Ted, Pastor Ted. Ella will be with, in the future, Zach. Zach from the Brew. Although that will not end up well, like, similar to the show. I changed it up a bit to make it a little bit more vulgar. But, they'll be together, sort of, for a while. But that's going to be in the future. Although I think that in the future, I'm not sure if I want Ella and Byron to get back together. Because I'm not sure if that's the way the show is going with that relationship. If that happens and it looks good, I'm probably going to have more incentive to make them get back together. But if not, then I think I'm going to have Ella deal with the chaos that her not even yet marriage with Zach and their unborn child, which will eventually be born, entails. And then Byron and Meredith will probably stay together on and off. But around the time Ella's dealing with her issues with Zach, Byron and Meredith are no longer together for, I don't know. I haven't made up the reason yet. So it gets interesting. As for the Field parents, they are together happily. Wayne is still in the army. And so, you know, Pam kind of goes with him a lot. Emily stays home. Yeah, I said Ashley and Marin's with Ted. Tom, I don't have a Tom, so he doesn't really show up. And Kate doesn't really, or Isabel doesn't really show up either. As for Hastings' parents, they're together, but they're most of the time, like, traveling, like Spencer's parents. Yeah. So those are the parents. Jagger, Aria's little brother, is best friends with Allison, but will eventually be in a relationship with Caroline. But Jagger has kind of romantically fallen for Allison, and that's kind of going to be his interior battle because Allison doesn't know. Mike doesn't know. Allison doesn't know. For a while, Aria doesn't know, but then she's, like, the only one who knows for, like, a really, really long time. Mike catches on kind of quickly. Only when Jagger slips. Which surprisingly was not that often because Jagger's character is just completely and totally most of the time goofy. He cannot stay serious for a long time. If it's like a real thing where it's like extremely serious, like for instance there's a dead body in front of him or someone's dying in front of him, he's gonna sit there and be really solemn and upset. But even like when people are like fighting and arguing, he's gonna, if he's not involved in it and doesn't have feelings with the whole argument, he's gonna make a big joke out of it and everyone's gonna get mad at him. So that's Jagger's personality, but he's in love with Allison, and it's gonna take a really, really long time for those feelings for her to go away. Allison, I don't even think she's ever gonna find out. She's kind of not, she doesn't notice for whatever reason. Even though, like, every other guy in town and out of town and everywhere is just interested in her, for some reason, the one who's right in front of her and she spends all her time with and knows very well, it just doesn't occur to her for some reason, so. That gets interesting, too. So that's kind of like a love square, almost, with Caroline, Jagger, and Mike and Allison. Even though Allison doesn't know that, and Caroline doesn't know that either, so it's just Mike and Jagger, who were just like, okay, Jagger, she's my fiance. Jagger's just like, I know, Mike, chill. So yeah, that's an ongoing love square that kind of goes on for a very, very, very long time. Ian and Melissa are together, although Ian really, really wants to be with Allison, contrary to the show. And Melissa doesn't necessarily know that, so. Or at least she doesn't want to believe it if she's seen things that kind of, you know, look like it's going in that direction. She doesn't really want to believe it most of the time, so she kind of ignores it, which is stupid. Allison tries to tell her when she's being nice. It takes a lot of effort for Allison to be nice to Melissa because in My Rosewood, Allison and Ian were together. And Ian cheated on Allison with Melissa. And Melissa doesn't realize that because she while they were in a relationship, caught Ian with Allison, and he thought that she kind of was like the wrecker of the relationship or whatever, when it was really the other way around. So their relationship is really bad. Allison doesn't care, obviously, because she loves Mike. She doesn't care for Ian. She actually hates him, quite frankly. But he loves Allison. Melissa loves Ian, and since Ian can't get Allison, he kind of just goes for Melissa because she's there. But even though they're married, he does definitely do a ton of infidelities, and Melissa just doesn't care. Well, she does care. She just doesn't really know most of the time, or she doesn't pay attention. She ignores it. So that's another love triangle. Toby and Allison once dated very briefly, like in the show. She dated Ezra very briefly in the show, like she did in here, like she did in the show. Who else did Allison briefly date? She briefly dated Ren, and then she's just like, okay, you're not who I thought you were. There's someone else who she dated. She dated Mike, before they disappeared for a year. Who did you date, Allison Christine? First of all, that's Allison, my Allison's middle name. Courtney took her middle name of Lauren. So, yeah. Geez, who was it? And it was not Byron. It was not one of the parents, because Allison's just not that awful. Oh, God. Was it? No, she didn't date Jagger. For a second, it was like, wait a minute. Actually, I think that might be it. Let's see. It was Ezra, Mike, Ian, Ren, who actually I don't have here in Rosewood for whatever reason. I need to get someone to be Ren. And yeah, that was pretty much it. So that was her 4. Oh, and Noel. I knew I was forgetting someone. Noel. So 5 dudes that I know of so far that she's dated. Although I have to tell you this. Mike is the only real relationship she had. The other 4 were all done after Mike broke up with her because she was keeping secrets, and she was really upset about that. And so was he. But it all turns out in the end because they're engaged now. They're happy. But during that time, she dated 4 other guys because she's trying to figure out who the heck A is. So she decided with the dudes, she was going to date them. And she was going to try to figure out if any of them had anything to do with what was going on with the whole A situation. Noel didn't last long at all. Actually, he had asked her out the day after Mike broke up with her. So, yeah. So that was a complete and total stab in the back by Mike's best friend, Mr. Noel. He actually doesn't know about that till this day. Allison probably spill it soon, though. As for... That didn't last long, though. Allison's just like, you're just too arrogant to do something like that. So she broke up with him. Ren did not last long at all. She's just like, I've known you for a really long time, and you're trained to be a doctor, and, you just never seem like the type to hurt anyone. Break up with him. Ezra, she just dates him for a really short amount of time, and she's just like, okay, you're really nice, but, you're not the one who's messing with me. Which actually she's wrong about because he is on the A-team. Actually, I think most of those boys are on the A-team. Yeah, actually, I think all of them are. And then Ian, who she dated for like a year almost, before she broke up with him on the night of her disappearance. And so she was like, you have always been so interested in me, and I've rejected you for all these years, so I really, really need to be sure that you're not doing something behind my back. And I think in that relationship she did find out some things about Ian that she would have not wanted to ever know, as well as the fact I think she found out he was on the A-team during that time. Actually, no, she didn't. I take that back. She didn't. So she dated literally all 4 guys who were on the A-team, although Ian's going to eventually leave. Right now he's still on it. She dated all 4 guys who were on the A team, and she came to the conclusion that none of them were on it, which I find just hilarious because Allison knows all. She knows everything. She knows everyone's secrets. She's extremely smart. She usually is able to figure stuff like that out. She dated all 4 of them. She came to the conclusion that they weren't, and yet they all were. So, when she eventually finds out, then that's gonna stab her in the back. And her brother was actually on the A team too, but I think he recently quit. Yeah, I think he quit. Although they're not happy about that. So Jason is no longer on the A team, if I am correct. Actually, I don't think he quit. I don't know. He's gonna quit. Eventually he's gonna quit, but you know, he was on the A team at one point. Actually, now would be a great time to tell you who's on the A team. Bethany's Head, who is Allison's triplet sister, who was put up for adoption at birth. Because the Aranteses suddenly had 4 kids, because they had Jason. And then they just suddenly get pregnant with triplets, and it's just like, okay, well, we can't handle triplets, so we're just gonna have to put one of them up for adoption, but we're gonna keep the other 2. So, she went up for adoption. Allison's actually jealous of her for not having to live the horrible childhood she did and horrible life she has so far. But Bethany's jealous of Allison because she lived with their parents and she thought that she deserved to have that life. So, she's head A. And she's psychologically ill, like, big time. I was about to say Courtney's on the A team, but nope, she's dead. And she wouldn't have been on the A team in life either. She absolutely loved Allison more than anything, and Allison loved her the same way. So, yeah. As for, okay, the A team, Bethany's Head, Cece is pretty high up there, too. Cece's on the A team. Oh, Cece, my Cece is bisexual, and she has feelings for both Jason and Allison. Allison does not know that yet, because Cece technically doesn't know that Allison's alive right now, although she does, because she's on the A team, and Allison doesn't know that. She is bi, and she totally loves Allison, so what are you gonna do? Bethany, Cece, Jason, who was eventually gonna leave, actually pretty soon. Ian, who's eventually gonna leave. Melissa, who's actually gonna die. Wilden, who's eventually gonna die. Garrett, who's eventually gonna die. Mona, who's eventually gonna die. Noel, who's eventually gonna die. Ren, who, actually, I don't know if Ren's gonna die or not. I think he's gonna live, because, you know, Ren is just so awesome. Nobody respects Ren, so let's keep him. Ezra's on the A team, but he will not die, because Ezra's just too awesome to be killed off. Who am I missing? No, wait, I said no. Crap. I said Melissa. I said Jenna. Thank you. Jenna, who's eventually gonna die. Shauna, who's actually is a double agent for Allison, so they don't know that. And I don't think they ever will, because then I'd have to kill her, and I'm not gonna kill Shauna, so. Shauna's on the A team, but she's, helping Allison, so, you know, that doesn't necessarily count. But she's on the A team. Crap. I feel like I'm missing someone big. Who the heck is it? Which one of you? Oh! This is my big twist. I am missing someone huge, actually. Making sure I'm not missing anyone else before I explain this to you guys. Yeah, no, I don't think I am. Alright. Oh boy. Are you guys ready for this one? Because this one's big. Okay. One of my theories for the show is that both Spencer and Aria, and Ezra with Aria, but that doesn't have anything to do with it. Spencer and Aria are on the A team and are mentally ill to a degree, and they do not remember or know that they are on the A team because they have different personality, like the multiple personality disorder, whatever. They don't remember, and it's too traumatic for their brains to remember that. And so they're torturing themselves because, like, their other personality is an extreme psychotic mastermind. But it's so traumatic that they don't remember doing it to their friends or whatever. And they don't remember doing it to themselves either. So Spencer's been trying so hard to figure out who it is, and they're always one step ahead of her, and she always has been extremely smart. And Aria, oh god, so many things have been pointing to Aria being A. It's almost like it would be obvious for her to be A, and it would be too obvious, so therefore she won't be A. But I think that they're doing that on purpose to trick you. So they want to make it look so obvious that it doesn't happen, that it looks like it's not going to happen, but in fact it is. So in fact, it is in fact going to be a shock. Same with Ezra. And he's already extremely suspicious, and I do not buy the crap about that book. I never have, and I was so mad when Marlene said that it was the real deal, and it didn't happen. So I was just like, I was so mad. I still am pretty mad at Marlene for that, but I do think Ezra is on the A-team. And I also have a triplet theory for the De Laurentises, which also is why I have triplets in my Rosewood, but that is a different thing that I do want to make a video on. Actually, Allison was going to do it for me, so. But I don't want 2 of my girls to be on the A-team. Personally, because I love Aria's character so much. And, I'm going to disclose this for you. Sometimes I've said we in my Barbie videos. That's because I have a friend. I have a friend who does this with me, and I'm not going to disclose her name. But she's a really, really close friend of mine. And it was like AN did the AGs with me. This friend does the whole Barbie thing with me. And she's been there through the mill with me with Twilight, Hunger Games, and now PLL. So it's been a long road for us with characters and plots and stories. And we basically grew up doing this. And so my friend, my best friend, who is like a sister, who is a sister to me. She's my sister. She's my family. She is Aria. So that's going to make a lot of sense as to why, like, I can't have Aria be bad or have her get killed off, because, that's just, you know, not my friend. She wants to be a part of the whole who's A thing. So she wants to be victimized, and being victimized is the best thing ever. Just for plot's sake, it's so fun. So that's why Aria's family is so constantly changing, because my friend cannot make up her mind as to how many kids she wants and what kids' names she wants to use. So that's why Aria's family is just so screwed up. And when I would say I don't know a name, it's because my friend didn't know a name. So that's me admitting the truth there, and I'm not giving a name. But she's my sister, absolutely, and I love her to death, and so we do this together. And while I play most of the characters in this room, she is Aria, and she's Aria full time. And then there are a couple characters that we both split, and we play 50-50, or maybe a little bit different than that. So Aria is her. She's Aria. And Aria and Allison, because my friend and I are so close, and I'm Allison, like, you know, pretty much, I'm Allison full-time. Allison's my main character. So, and the fact that she's Aria full-time, and that's her real character, that's like her only character that she is full-time. So, the fact that we're so close in real life, we can't really have much of a, you know, fight with Aria and Allison, as well as the whole, you know, Allison and Emily had a really close relationship. They do, in my Rosewood as well, but Aria and Allison by far have the closest relationship, and of all the liars, and Emily and Allison have a really close relationship too, but Aria has definitely taken a couple steps up, just in my Rosewood because of the way it's laid out with me and my friend. So that probably made things 1,000 times easier for you to understand, if you watch my Barbie videos at all. So, but yeah, so, yeah, we just, it's been fun, like learning all these characters and creating different plots and different shocks and twists and stuff for that. But since I believe that Aria is A in the show, Aria and Spencer, are both A in the show, I'm going to cut Aria since she is my friend and she's going to be on the A-team or mentally ill. That would break Allison's heart. She'd die. She'd die. But Spencer will be. And the whole multiple personality disorder thing, Spencer doesn't know she's on the A-team. She has no idea. All she knows is she hates Allison's guts. Because she and Allison have a longer backstory than they do in the show. So they've been through a bunch, and Allison did some things that Spencer doesn't like. And even though Allison, has pretty much made, like, the fact that she's different, a reality, and Spencer's seen it and she's experienced it. Actually, not too much now that I went in the past, but in the when I was like in the future a bit, she saw so much of it and she knew it, but she didn't want to believe it, and so she just held that grudge and hated Allison's guts. So basically, that's gonna happen again. But she is on the A team because of what Allison had done to her. And I guess she might be even torturing the other girls just because they forgave Allison so easily. They accepted Allison back into the group so easily after all that she had supposedly done to all of them, even though she didn't really touch Aria too much because she was so close with Aria. But yeah, so Spencer's definitely going to be a AG member that I don't think Miss Spencer is going to find out. She's not going to remember. And so that's kind of why she'll never be able to know, never be able to figure it out, because one step ahead of her. She's always been so smart, and I definitely think it's got something to do with it, and the fact that, in the summer, that the whole hint with, like, her not remembering, like, most of the summer that Allison disappeared in the show, like, that's huge. Like, what the heck? Who wouldn't remember that? It reminds me of something in the books as well, actually, where she had memory issues. So good hinting, PLL. I'm on to you. As well as I've got my triplets going on here. Bethany is just, oh boy, she's a mess. I do believe in the show that Bethany and Allison, and I'm just gonna call her Courtney because I don't know if they're gonna rename her for the show's sake, are all existing on the show, and I've got that night planned out to support my theory. I've got, like, all this, like, evidence and all this stuff that's, like, proving that Allison has to have some sort of triplet connection to somebody. Twin, triplet, whatever. So it's huge, and I know, and I'm almost positive that there's more than one De Laurentiis. I'm pretty positive there's at least one more De Laurentiis running around Rosewood in the show right now. Just like it is here. Alden doesn't know that in my Rosewood, but in the show, Allison is more than aware, because Allison that the girls are dealing with right now is not Allison, but is in fact Courtney, her extremely insane psychotic sister. And I'll have to explain this in a different video. I'll have Allison do it because, I thought it'd be funny for Allison to do it. It'd be a really funny opening for that. But yeah. So that happened. Aria the baby went to Iceland. Her parents are kind of trying to, now that they're back in Rosewood, trying to act as if it was their baby. So that's pissing Aria off. And she hasn't told anybody that it's her baby either. They don't think it's her sister. Except Allison knows, because Allison knows everything. So Jason just found out, so Jason's not happy. Allison and Mike just told Aria that they were engaged, let alone they were together, like, ever. So then Aria is just like, she's kind of like, what the heck? She's kind of dumbstruck right now. She's like, what the heck happened? Like, how did I not know that you guys were, like, together? She walked in on them kissing, so Allison's just like, oh, and that just happened. That's nice. After she broke away from the kiss, and Aria's just like, so then they later were just like, Mike's just like, Allison, we should tell Aria. We should tell them, like, the truth. And Allison's like, the whole truth? And he's like, yes, everything. And Allison's just like, ah. And they told Aria. She's just like, her jaw falls to the floor. And then Allison was just like, see, I told you it was a really, really bad idea to do it like this. So that was funny. As for the other girls, Emily just found Maya's body a couple nights ago in the middle of the night after Spencer made her cry, which it's a completely totally different thing. So she found her body. The girls really recently found out that Allison's alive. A is going to try to make one last hit-dish effort at killing Allison, and that's not going to happen because Allison's a survivor. And she's going to live. what else? I mean, jeez. Yeah. So that's pretty much what they're all living with right now. I'll definitely be making a video on all the kids again soon. I actually don't even have enough toddlers again, because, you know, oh boy, decisions, changes, love that stuff. Excuse me. So, yeah, that's what plot's going on so far. I'll have to make another thing for Allison's backstory along with the triplet theory. I don't know if I'll do that in like another video, like in one video, or I'll do it in a couple separate videos. But yeah, I'm pretty positive that there are triplets in both the show, and I know there are triplets in here because, you know, I just showed you them. Duh. So yeah. Thank you so much for watching. Yet again, I hit almost 40 minutes. I'm like 30 minutes. Like, what the heck? So I'll see you guys next video. Bye.